If you want clean, reliable web data without babysitting proxies and headless browsers, this video breaks down the main approaches so you can choose fast. We'll compare API-first layers, no-code scrapers with cloud runs, RPA-style automation, enterprise unblocking stacks, and integration-first platforms that scrape via HTTP and schedule on your terms. By the end, you'll know which path fits your team, whether you're a developer who wants a drop-in API, an ops lead who needs point-and-click extraction, or a business that prioritizes reliability, compliance, and hands-off scheduling. Use the timestamps to jump straight to the picks and check the description for trials and discounts. Let's get started. Decodo is a web data platform that grew out of SmartProxy, the well-known proxy provider, and rebranded in April 2025 to reflect a broader focus on scraping, parsing, and no-code data tools. If you've heard of SmartProxy, this is the same team with a new name and a bigger toolkit. At the center of the product is a managed web scraping API. You pass a URL and parameters, and Decodo does the heavy lifting, including rotating proxies, spinning up browsers to render JavaScript, and slipping past CAPTCHAs and other bot defenses. You get back raw HTML or a structured payload, so you can drop the results straight into your workflow. It aims to remove the usual pain of proxy management and headless browser orchestration. If you prefer to keep your code and tools, the API plays nicely with common stacks. It's compatible with Python and Node, and it's built to work alongside automation frameworks like Playwright and Puppeteer, plus HTML parsers like Cheerio. Decodo also provides a browser-based API playground, quick start docs, and copy-paste snippets to get requests working in minutes. There are different ways to scrape depending on the target. For general websites, you use the web scraping API and choose whether you want the full HTML or parsed fields. For hard targets with strict anti-bot systems, the site unblocker behaves like a single proxy endpoint that quietly rotates IPs, fingerprints the browser, renders JavaScript, and returns the page so you don't have to run a headless browser yourself. It supports pay-per-gigabyte and pay-per-request plans and is meant for the sites that usually trip scrapers up. Decodo offers scraper types for common targets, so you don't have to build everything from scratch. Templates cover Amazon, Google Search and Shopping, Bing, Walmart, TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and YouTube, including transcript and metadata endpoints, and even a downloader for video workflows. You can run requests in real time or asynchronously, localized by country, and use features like browser actions and task scheduling. Decodo leans into parsing, so you can choose how structured you want the output to be. You can send parsing instructions with your request or turn parsing off and handle the HTML yourself. If you don't want to write selectors at all, the AI parser lets you paste a link and describe what you need in plain language, then returns clean JSON and reusable parsing instructions that you can plug back into your scraping jobs. It's positioned as a free, no-code way to turn any page into structured data. Scale and coverage are a big part of the pitch. The platform advertises 125 million plus rotating IPs across many locations and high concurrency, so teams can send a lot of requests at once without micromanaging pools. Decodo emphasizes that you pay for successful responses rather than failed attempts, and that setup is fast thanks to instant dashboard access, templates, and a built-in playground. If you already use scraping frameworks, the API is framework agnostic and slots into existing code with minimal changes. Compared with other web scraping tools, Decodo is not a visual desktop scraper like Octoparse, and it's not a full no-code marketplace like Apify. It sits closer to Scraper API or Bright Data's scraping APIs, but it tries to differentiate with success-based billing, the site unblocker's drop-in proxy endpoint, the AI parser for no-code structuring, and a large actively marketed IP pool. If you're deciding whether it's the right fit, think about how much control you want versus how much you want managed for you. Decodo works well if you want API-first scraping with built-in unblocking, optional no-code parsing, and ready templates for SERPs and e-commerce. It's a solid pick for teams that need scale and don't want to maintain proxies and browsers. If you prefer a point-and-click workflow or a marketplace of pre-built automations, you might lean toward a different style of tool. But for developer-friendly scraping with strong anti-bot muscle, Decodo deserves a serious look. If this sounds like the right solution for you, Decodo offers our audience a massive 50% off on all proxies and scraping API. 2. Scraper API. Scraper API is a hosted scraping layer that hides the hard parts of web scraping behind a single request. You point it at a public URL, and it returns the page without you having to juggle proxies, browser rendering, or CAPTCHA. Under the hood, it gives you two easy ways to integrate. You can call the HTTP API directly, or you can plug it in like a normal proxy using their proxy port if your stack already expects a proxy. In both cases, the platform manages proxy rotation, retries, ban, and CAPTCHA detection. If a CAPTCHA slips through, they'll add it to their detection list so future requests auto-retry. When a page needs JavaScript to load, you flip a render parameter and Scraper API fetches it with a headless browser before returning the HTML. You can tune each request for the target you're after. There are options for country targeting, device type to force mobile or desktop user agents, and sticky sessions so a set of requests reuse the same IP for things like carts or multi-step flows. Premium residential and mobile IP pools are available when you're dealing with stricter anti-bot systems. Parameters can be passed in the URL or as headers, which makes it simple to bolt onto existing code. For common targets, you do not have to parse everything yourself. An Octoparse switch turns raw HTML into structured JSON or CSV on selected domains such as Google, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, and Redfin. If you need to act like a real user, a browser instruction set lets you script inputs, clicks, waits, and scrolling right in the API call, so you can load infinite scroll or submit a form without wiring up Puppeteer from scratch. What makes it stand out is how little setup it asks for. You can drop it into a scraper in minutes, use API or proxy mode, and toggle rendering, sessions, and parsing with a parameter instead of maintaining your own headless fleet and proxy pools. The instruction set is a nice middle ground between a simple HTTP fetch and a full browser automation framework. The best fit is anyone who wants reliable, API-first scraping without looking after proxies and browsers. That includes developers building scrapers in Python, Node, or Java, SEO teams pulling SERPs, e-commerce teams tracking prices and stock, real estate analysts collecting listings, and research teams who need repeatable crawls. If you want to avoid writing schedulers, the async scraper and data pipeline cover job control and delivery, and the structured data endpoints save time on parsing popular sites. Pricing plans start at $49 per month. Scraper API offers our audience a 7-day free trial along with 5,000 free API credits, so make sure to check out the link below. 3. Apify. Apify is a full-stack platform for web scraping, browser automation, and AI agents. It gives you a place to build, run, and share actors, which are serverless programs that do the work in the cloud. Actors are language agnostic and run in containers. You can run them from the web console, from the API, or from official client libraries. If you prefer to start locally, there is a CLI to create, test, and deploy in one command. When an actor runs, Apify sets up storage for it automatically. You get a dataset for results, a key value store for files or outputs, and a request queue for URLs. Datasets export to JSON, CSV, Excel, XML, RSS, or even an HTML table. And name stores persist so you can come back later. You can wire runs to webhooks, so a job can notify another system or kick off a follow-up task. You can build scrapers in Node.js or Python with Apify's tooling. Crawlee, the open-source library from Apify, gives you crawlers for static pages with Cheerio and for dynamic sites with Playwright or Puppeteer, all behind one interface, plus best practices for avoiding blocks. The Python SDK makes it easy to read inputs, push data to datasets, and manage the actor lifecycle. Apify also maintains open-source anti-blocking helpers like GOT scraping and a fingerprint suite for realistic headers and browser fingerprints. If you do not want to code, you can start with ready-made tools in Apify Store. There are thousands of pre-built scrapers and automations for popular sites and workflows, including Web Scraper, a general crawler that renders JavaScript and saves structured results to a dataset. You can run them with a simple form, schedule them, or call them from your app through the API. Scraping types and features span both breadth and depth. You can crawl static sites, scrape dynamic sites that require full rendering, and handle long queues of URLs with breadth-first or depth-first patterns. You can export structured data in many formats for analytics, and you can keep named datasets around as living feeds. What makes Apify stand out is the combination of a developer platform and a marketplace. You can ship your own scrapers as actors, run them at scale with managed proxies, and also buy or rent tools from other developers in the same place. The open-source ecosystem behind it, Crawlee, anti-blocking guides, fingerprint tooling, lowers the time from idea to production and helps keep scrapers reliable. The platform is a good fit if you want control and flexibility without running your own scraping infrastructure. Developers can code with Crawlee or the SDKs, plug in proxies, and automate delivery with webhooks and integrations. Non-developers can start faster by renting store actors and exporting results to sheets or databases. If you are building agentic apps, the Actors as Tools model and AI agent templates make it easy to give your agents live web context. Costs are based on compute units and platform credits rather than per-page pricing. The plans start at $49 per month. Importantly, even the entry plan unlocks all features. You don't have to pay extra for integrations or the Actor Store. Below this video is a link to the Apify free plan, where you get $5 of platform credit each month. 4. Bright Data. Bright Data is a full-stack web data platform that blends big proxy infrastructure with scraping APIs and ready-made datasets. Instead of giving you a single tool, it lets you choose the level of control you want. You can plug in at the proxy layer, call an API that handles the hard parts for you, or even buy clean datasets when you don't want to run scrapers at all. If you want a simple way to fetch pages without wrestling with blocks, the Unlocker API is the starting point. You send a request with a target URL and it routes through Bright Data's proxy network, solves CAPTCHAs, handles headers and cookies, renders JavaScript when needed, and returns clean HTML or JSON. It also uses success-based billing, so you pay only for delivered results. For multi-step flows, the browser API spins up remote, unblocked Chromium sessions and works with popular tools like Puppeteer and Playwright so you can click, scroll, and fill forms at scale without maintaining a headless fleet yourself. For search data, the SERP API delivers structured results from major engines with built-in unblocking and predictable pricing. If your job is broader than a single page or query, there are several scraping types to choose from. Crawl API maps and collects content across entire sites for SEO, AI, or compliance use cases. Web scraper APIs offer domain-specific endpoints and a no-code option in the control panel. The Web Scraper IDE is a browser-based environment for building your own scrapers in JavaScript with helpers for pagination, GraphQL capture, schema validation, and data tests. Delivery can go straight to your systems through webhooks, API downloads, S3, Google Cloud, Azure, pub/sub, or SFTP, so you can drop results into a pipeline without glue code. Under the hood, the platform focuses on avoiding blocks so scrapers keep running. Features include automated retries, IP rotation, browser fingerprint emulation, cookie and header management, and on-demand JavaScript rendering. You can see these in both the Unlocker docs and the browser API guides, which explain how the system manages full unblocking for each page and even spins up a browser only when it's required by the site. If you want a quick recommendation, Bright Data fits teams that care about reliability, breadth of scraping options, and compliance more than bare-bones costs. It is a good match when you need to run complex, high-volume jobs or when unblocking stubborn sites is a daily reality. If your project is small or budget is tight, some reviewers suggest the platform may feel premium. So weigh the success-based APIs and no-code options against simpler, cheaper tools before you commit. Pricing is based on the number of successful requests or the amount of data processed. And if you want to give it a try, below this video is a free trial available across all plans so you can test everything out before you commit. 5. Robomotion. Robomotion is a low-code RPA platform for automating web and desktop work, and it doubles as a capable web scraping tool. You build automations in a Webflow designer, install a robot on your machine, and run jobs locally or in the cloud. The robots are truly cross-platform, with installers for Windows, macOS, Linux, and even Raspberry Pi, which is uncommon in this space. If you do not want to keep a bot online all the time, a Cloud Run option spins up capacity on Robomotion's side and bills by the minute. The way it works is straightforward. You create a flow by dragging nodes on a canvas, then publish and orchestrate it from the admin console where you can add robots, schedule runs, set up triggers, watch queues, and monitor jobs. Schedules follow cron-style rules. Triggers can listen for emails, files, HTTP calls, or new queue items, so a scrape can start when an event happens rather than on a timer. Queues hold work items and let different robots pick them up, which is useful for scaling or retrying. There is also a REST API for managing robots, flows, schedules, and jobs when you want to control everything from your code. Robomotion also offers parallel, multi-branch execution, so a single robot can work through several sequences at once. Scraping relies on the browser package and an optional web recorder. You can open Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, or headless Chrome, navigate to pages, wait for elements, click, type, and run JavaScript on the page when you need to extract values or manipulate the DOM. During development, the Chrome extension helps you inspect elements and record actions, and you do not need it at runtime. The recorder can auto-build subflows that scrape lists and tables, which is great for paginated results and long catalogs. If you prefer a headless or script-heavy approach, the RunScript node lets you inject JavaScript directly. Output can land wherever you work, since there are built-in packages for Excel and CSV, and many templates already write to SQLite or spreadsheets out of the box. You can route traffic through proxies when needed, and plans include monthly proxy request quotas. Credentials live in encrypted vaults with a zero-knowledge design, so only you and your robots with the secret key can unlock them. What sets Robomotion apart is the mix of RPA depth and scraping speed in one place. The platform runs on every major desktop OS, which matters if your team is split between Windows laptops and Macs or if you want to place bots on Linux servers. It blends low-code building with light scripting in JavaScript when you need it, and it supports custom nodes in languages like Go, Python, Java, and C# if you want to extend the platform. Security is handled with client-side vault encryption, and development quality of life features like the Chrome Inspector make authoring faster without adding runtime dependencies. You can drive it with the API or keep it entirely in the console, and you can scale with queues, schedules, and cloud minutes when you outgrow a single workstation. Robomotion fits best if you want a visual builder that still leaves room for code, and if you plan to automate more than scraping alone. Robomotion shines when you need scraping, plus the rest of the workflow, like logging into portals, handling files, sending emails or Slack messages, and scheduling reliable runs across different machines and operating systems. If all you want is an API that returns HTML or JSON, a scraping API may be simpler. But if you want one tool to fetch the data and push it through the rest of your process, Robomotion is built for that style of automation. Robomotion also comes with a 14-day free trial with no credit card required. 6. Octoparse. Octoparse is a no-code web scraping app for people who want results without writing scripts. You work inside a desktop application that behaves like a browser. You open a page, click the elements you want, and the tool records those actions as a workflow that can be replayed at scale. If you want a head start, the template library covers many well-known sites and use cases. You pick a template, fill in a few parameters, and run it locally or in the cloud. Templates also tap into the auto-detect system, so you can see what the scraper will pull before you commit. Octoparse has also been building an AI companion product for workflow automation, and you can see those scraper surface in the template gallery inside the main app. It runs on both major desktop platforms and offers a quick download and setup, so you can get to a first run fast. The core experience is visual. You point and click in the built-in browser, and Octoparse builds a step-by-step workflow that mimics a real person. Auto-detect can find lists and fields on many pages and generate a starter setup you can tweak. When a site needs more precision, you can refine the selectors with XPath or clean fields with regular expressions. The app can handle dynamic pages that load with JavaScript and Ajax, and it includes patterns for common tasks like pagination, infinite scroll, form fills, and clicking a load more button. It can also log in and carry cookies, so you can scrape content behind an account. You can choose where the work runs. Local extraction happens on your machine and is useful for quick jobs or testing. Cloud extraction runs on Octoparse's servers and is designed for bigger workloads and hands-off schedules. Cloud runs bring a managed unblocking stack that includes rotating IPs, residential proxies, and automatic CAPTCHA solving, with support for newer challenges like Cloudflare's Turnstile and other popular CAPTCHA types. With support for newer challenges like Cloudflare's Turnstile and other popular CAPTCHA types. The product also adds small touches that help reliability, like random delays between actions and live logs for monitoring. Getting data out is straightforward. You can export to files in common formats or push data straight to a database. There are built-in options to send results to Google Sheets and popular cloud storage services, and there is a REST API for pulling data and managing tasks from your own stack or a script. If you prefer no-code glue, there is a Zapier integration as well. What sets Octoparse apart is the mix of a friendly point-and-click builder, a large template library, and a cloud that bakes in unblocking and scheduling so you do not have to stitch that together yourself. Reviewers often highlight how easy it feels to set up a new job and how useful cloud runs are when volume grows, while also noting that code-first users may want deeper customization than a visual tool offers. If you want to work in a browser-like app, start from templates, and need built-in proxy rotation and CAPTCHA handling, it is a strong pick. The platform covers setup, unblocking, scheduling, and delivery, and it scales from quick tests on your laptop to steady cloud jobs that keep data flowing. But if you prefer to control everything from code or a scraping framework, an API-only service may suit you better. Pricing starts at $99 per month. Below this video is a link to the Octoparse free plan that lets you run up to 10 scraping tasks. Make.com is a visual, no-code automation platform where you build scenarios by chaining modules together. Think of it as a drag-and-drop workflow editor that can send data between apps. Its scenario editor can take your data, transform it, and send it through multiple apps, executing a series of actions based on conditions. In practice, this means even complex logic and branching is handled visually, so you can build anything from a simple email alert to an entire system of automated processes. One of Make's most powerful capabilities is web scraping. You can fetch any public web page using its HTTP module, then parse the HTML right inside the workflow. For example, you might grab a page of product listings and use Make's built-in parsers to extract the data. Make provides a Get Elements from HTML tool that can pull out tags from the raw HTML, and a match pattern module that lets you apply a regular expression search on the text. In other words, you could fetch a page with HTTP and then use either regular expression or CSS-style queries to pinpoint exactly the fields you need. Once you've built a scraping scenario, Make can run it on a schedule or on demand. The scheduling options are very flexible. You can trigger a scenario immediately, at fixed intervals, once, every day, weekly, monthly, on specific dates, or on demand. That means you could check a site every 15 minutes or run the scrape only on weekdays at 9 a.m., or manually kick it off with one click whenever needed. This built-in scheduler turns your scraper into a hands-free tool that keeps data up to date without any cron jobs or external servers. Make even supports on-demand mode, so your scenario can wait idle and only run when an API hit or a button press triggers it. After scraping, Make shines at handling and structuring the data. It automatically organizes scraped results into arrays and provides modules to manipulate them. The platform supports JSON and XML parsing natively, and its toolset includes array/collection operations. Concretely, this means you could loop through every item your scraper found, transform each one, and even aggregate them into a summary. For instance, if you scraped 100 product prices, Make's aggregator could merge them into a single table or CSV format list to pass on. These data tools take the pain out of dealing with lists of results. You don't have to write loops yourself, Make does it graphically. Integration is where Make really stands out. The platform has over 2,000 pre-built app connectors, and everything else can be integrated via its HTTP module. In practice, this means scraped data can immediately flow into Google Sheets, a CRM, a database, a Slack channel, or any other tool. Compared to standalone scraping tools, Make is a Swiss Army knife. It doesn't just scrape, it automates whatever you want to do with the data next. And compared to other automation platforms, it offers unmatched flexibility. For instance, Zapier famously caps workflows at 100 steps. Make scenarios effectively have no fixed limit on modules. You also get built-in branching, error handling, aggregators, looping, and more sophisticated data tools that many competitors lack. 8. Oxylabs. Oxylabs is a market-leading web intelligence collection platform, basically a one-stop shop for scraping public web data. It serves over 4,000 clients with a massive proxy network and data tools. Think of it as a Swiss Army knife for web scraping. Residential, data center, mobile, and ISP proxies, a comprehensive web scraper API, plus ready-made datasets, all geared toward big data collection. For example, Oxylabs boasts over 177 million IP addresses in 195 countries, so you can route requests through real-world locations to avoid blocks. Oxylabs' main offerings include its proxy services and its web scraper API. Its proxy products span the gamut, from dedicated data center proxies to residential proxies. There are even mobile proxies and ISP proxies for trickiest sites. In practice, this means you can mimic normal user traffic, regularly rotating through the huge IP pool so target sites can't easily detect you as a bot. On top of raw proxies, Oxylabs' web scraper API is an all-in-one data extraction platform. It crawls pages, uses Oxylabs proxies and AI to bypass CAPTCHAs or geo-restrictions, and returns clean JSON data. It's built to handle everything from the moment you send a request to the second you get clean, structured data back. You can use it to target all kinds of websites, e-commerce platforms like Amazon, search engines like Google, and more. The API takes care of all the messy parts for you, like handling JavaScript-heavy pages, parsing the data, and delivering it in a format you can immediately work with. Getting started is also easy. Creating your API user is quick, and once you have your credentials, you're ready to start scraping. You can run example requests using tools like Postman and see how the system automatically fills in everything you need. From there, you can tweak parameters, add geolocation for localized results, and even enable parsing right within the request. Oxylabs also offers an API playground on its dashboard, which lets you experiment with your requests and test different scraping setups before running them at scale. Another standout feature is Oxy Copilot, Oxylabs' new AI assistant for scraping. Instead of writing code, you can use natural language prompts like "scrape this URL and parse product details." And Oxy Copilot will auto-generate the scraping instructions and output structure. This AI helper plugs into the web scraper API, so it handles everything behind the scenes, fetching, unblocking, and parsing HTML. This saves developers a lot of time. They found that parsing logic alone could take up to 40 development hours per week, which Oxy Copilot can largely automate. In other words, even if you're not an expert coder, you can collect web data by describing what you need. It's the industry's first AI copilot for web scraping and helps level the playing field for teams of all sizes. Beyond proxies and AI, Oxylabs offers additional tools. An AI-powered web unblocker bypasses advanced anti-bot systems on the toughest sites. They also provide an unblocking browser, which is a headless browser pre-integrated with over 175 million residential IPs to automatically solve CAPTCHA. If you need data without coding at all, Oxylabs even sells pre-built datasets. For example, clean lists of e-commerce products, job postings, company profiles, and more. These come parsed and ready to analyze, so you can skip scraping entirely if your needs match one of their data products. All of these features are accessed via their platform and dashboard, which includes code examples in Python, JavaScript, and other languages to help you integrate Oxylabs quickly. For many users, Oxylabs stands out because of its scale, reliability, and ease of use. With an over 177 million IP pool, AI-driven scraping tools, and an emphasis on security, it's built for heavy-duty tasks. It's a preferred choice in industries like e-commerce price tracking and review monitoring, SEO and marketing intelligence, as well as cybersecurity, where large-scale data and stealth are crucial. The flip side is that Oxylabs is a professional-grade service, so it's typically pricier than hobbyist proxies. However, they offer free trials and pay-as-you-go plans, so you can experiment without a big commitment. In the end, if you or your team needs a robust, turnkey solution to gather public web data and prefer the support and compliance that comes with an enterprise product, Oxylabs is definitely worth considering. 9. Phantombuster. Phantombuster is an all-in-one automation platform designed to help you generate leads and extract data from the web without writing a single line of code. It's built for people who want to save time on repetitive tasks by automating actions they already perform on popular platforms. It lets you collect email addresses, phone numbers, or social media details, and much more. What makes Phantombuster especially useful is its library of ready-made automations called Phantoms. These are plug-and-play workflows that let you gather data, engage with contacts, or link up with your favorite tools without complex setup. If your goal is to scale up lead generation or gather information from online sources like LinkedIn, Twitter, or any custom website, there's likely a Phantom already built for it. One of the standout tools in the platform is the data scraping crawler. It lets you pull contact information like email addresses and social media links from any website on the internet. To use it, you simply choose the websites you want to scrape. You can enter them one by one, or you can upload a Google Sheet or CSV with a full list of URLs. You can even connect this Phantom to others you've already set up, making it part of a larger automation chain. You also get to decide what kind of data to scrape. Maybe you're only after emails, or maybe you want phone numbers and social links too. You can fine-tune how deep the crawler goes into each website and set exit rules, like stopping once an email is found. That way, you're not wasting time or scraping more than you need. The setup process is user-friendly. You just go step by step, choose your inputs, pick your scraping targets, set behavior preferences like crawl depth and delays, and then launch the Phantom manually or on a schedule. Once the job is done, you can open the results instantly and download everything in a clean CSV file.